You know how I came to do the Levite seminar? I was laid off work. I was at a job that I was at for 7 years. And company downsized, and I was laid off. My husband had been laid off 2 months before that. We have a home, we live in Stratford. We have 3 children. We had 1 in high school, 1 in middle school, and 1 in elementary school at this time. I had my mom living with me, and we had no visible means of income. I thought I was going to flip. My husband had gotten laid off 2 months before, and with unemployment, I said, oh my God, this is not going to cut it. What are we going to do? I kind of panicked a little bit at first. But then, God, being who he is, showed me, and he spoke to me when I was in prayer one day. He said, I had to let them downsize and lay you off because you would never have listened to me, because you didn't trust me enough. If I'd have told you to leave, you would have looked at that as your provision and you wouldn't have left that job. So I had to let them lay you off because I have other things for you to do. And you're comfortable there. I was promoted several times. I did everything in the company from answer the phone when I first started out all the way up to marketing. I did everything in the company. I worked in the mailroom. I did everything. I'd been there for a little bit. I was well liked in the company, and I was very comfortable. I was making pretty decent money. I didn't like the drive because I lived in Stratford and it was in Norwalk, but a lot of people were doing it. So thus the traffic every morning. Seems like everyone lives up here and everyone works down there because they pay you more money in Norwalk and Stanford, but the cost of living is cheaper in Stratford, and so thus everyone's on the highway every day. But the Lord told me, he said, you wouldn't have moved had I told you. You wouldn't have trusted me. How many know God knows what's in us? And I was like, yes, I would have. No, you wouldn't have. You would not have moved. You would not have moved out. So I had to let them lay you off. But what ended up happening was, because I sing, because I'm a Levite, and because, I started studying about this. But what ended up happening, just my own personal study, because I had all this time on my hands, what ended up happening from my own personal study turned into something totally different. And every time I would get down to study, he would show me more and more, and my mind was blown. And there would be times that the kids would go out the door at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be in the family room with my books and Bibles and all my different aids. And before I knew it, I was like, where is my daughter back home?